Yeah, crazy. Yo, may I tell you, my people, that was crazy. But what you know?
The following is a release from the People's National Party Media Unit.
Yeah. Cause, hey, yeah, my people, them say me evil, but not believe, and we don't believe, they cannot reason, you see it? Yeah, my people, what you know? Big man thing, yo. Such a sad thing to see, such a catastrophe. With all the big demolition go on, Jaja know. I tell you, a whole heap of content where I see forward out. Some very important one, but I don't know we're there for share the highest level of intelligence. We don't know, because we see people are defend the minister them who is behind the, giving out the orders to the authority to carry out such an act. You know what I mean? So people are defend those government there, where they behind it, while the PMP they make it clear. Even Mark Golding pointed it out, right, that he has nothing to do with it. All right. So no talk to no leaders on a JLP. Yes, them said the land was sold by the PMP. PJ Patterson was in power at the time, right? In the 90s, 1993, probably we are talking about when them land there was sold, the one in Trelawny, right? Cooper's Pen, okay? And PJ Patterson is no longer in politics, so therefore, he not have no powers over what should become of the land. You understand? PJ has no authority to help anyone who is on those land. You understand? Yeah, unless you know that I'd try to reach out to him, which I'm sure would have hard to be, for meet up with them Monday. It would have hard for anybody meet up with them Monday to try help them, because them Monday up in a age now, PJ Patterson. May the good Lord bless him. You know what I mean? Now, so the facts are the JLP them in power, right? Andrew Holness. They are the ones who have all the powers on what should be done and what have been done, right? They're the ones behind it. Okay? Because them are the leader, them have the power. All right? Now, I'm going to share with you know what Isaac Buchanan have to say about it. Because say the man are human rights activist, not just a lawyer, not just somebody who defend anyone. No, them man a defend truth, right, and justice. Them man a take case where him see that needs support. You know what I mean? And yeah, make him name and him bluff. Him will bluff when you hear me say about you have to have your 80 million. I'm sure he's not that type of person, but it good and it's the intelligent thing to do to make people know say you're about your money. Right? Because the moment you go advertise yourself being a kind-hearted person, everybody are going to want to take advantage of you. So the best thing him do is to make them know about this $80 million fee where them have if them want his assistance with getting out of prison for gun crime or serious criminal activities. Right? Those are the type of people he made that $80 million talk for. You know what I mean? But yeah, him just he's just someone who like to make people laugh, isn't me? Why him say them thing there? Because I'm sure that if anybody seriously needs help and can't really afford it, he will still help them if he sees it in a positive aspect. You know what I mean? Like someone who is much deserving of the help, who can't afford to pay for an attorney, So we're gonna read some of this what them have a go on right here, so and we'll play the video, you understand me? Yeah, make we hear what it has about Cooper's Pen before we play what Mr. Isaac Buchanan has to say, the Shadow Minister of Youth and Human Rights. You see them minister there, Shadow Minister, the right name him get, because shadow would I mean black. You know what I mean? Shadow. It means like black when you hear of the term shadow. And him represent for black people. He's a black man. You see what I say? Yeah, and him traffic the weed in the white people in country. Big up yourself, I start a good thing you do. You see me? Yeah, man. The man I say high grade. Yeah. So this post is from the PNP. right? Yeah, so the page, the username is Jamaica PNP. Make sure not follow it, right? All if not JLP, follow it so you can see say PNP a better team right now. You see me I say?
Genuine respect for the Constitution and the rights of the Jamaican people. The exercise of lawful authority must never come at the expense of human dignity. We cannot say that we are a free and democratic society while becoming indifferent to the suffering of citizens who have little power to defend themselves. The Constitution belongs to every Jamaican, and its protections are most meaningful when they extend to those with the least power. The power I speak of is to be exercised so that the people of Cooper's Pen, the people of St. Thomas, and every displaced Jamaican deserves answers, compassion, and action, not silence. Visit our website at pnp.org.jm or check us out on Facebook at Jamaica PNP.
Yeah, crazy. Yo, may I tell you, my people, that was crazy. But what you know?
The following is a release from the People's National Party Media Unit.
Yeah, my people. So, if you notice, Zane, you notice the JLP them not have nobody will represent and is as active in the human rights field, will look out for people and stand up for people and represent for people and talk for people and fight for people. Nobody in the jail people not do or represent Zin for the care and the equal rights and justice of every Jamaican like Isaac Buchanan, right? Watch this. JLP, when you check for them striker, the forerunner them, Zin, and the midfielder them, the main character them in the JLP. You have Andrew Holness as the Prime Minister. We don't have to talk about him. Him done shady and him done dirty up already. You see me? We don't see him corruption. Alright, you have Darl Vaz, known liar. Because let me tell you, one of the most recent lie what Darl Vaz tell. We know same lie about the airport thing, because him a go on like say things no teeth out a barrel. And enough we know say things teeth out a barrel. Zin? And him love go on like say none of that, like Jamaica clean and whistle. You see me? Like Jamaica clean and whistle whiskey pure. Zin? Hey, may I tell you, say him, Darvaz, one of the recent lie them we him tell, him attack Claus. Zin the uptown Claus. Cause Claus got out about the beach being taken away and confiscated from Jamaican, regular Jamaican have access to beach, and that Claus got out about, and the one Dalvaz stick him up and tell him, say, go on down a Blue Lagoon, go look and see if, can just go down there and water and ray and attack him, Zin, just like how Dalvaz attack Bojo, Zin, and we see Class go down there and, brother, them now run the thing right down at Blue Lagoon. Them no want people use it. Just as I'm tell you, them set up people for fail. It's a mind game where these politicians use. You see me I say? And then it look like say, no, but like a people now use the beach down there want access. Them know what the politician them do. They know what they have done and why. And how them cause people to not be accessing Blue Lagoon like one time. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? No. Alright, so we have checked the forerunner them on the JLP, the striker them, the top striker for the JLP who more actively involved and we're seeing more often represent for the JLP them, right? So we talk about Andrew, and we know him shady from both money to all type of thing, the Enzinga thing where him refuse to talk on, the Corona thing, I be a shadiness thing for Andrew. Dalvaz, me just show you say him a liar. All right, we have Tufton, one of the next forerunner for JLP, right? We know him is a liquor blood clot. You know them pretty dunce boy they in a class where them mama and papa have money and the teacher treat them nice, but the boy them dunce or the girl them dunce, but through them parents have money and them wear the latest of nice things and pretty clothes and them have the latest of bags and them get driven to school and you know what I mean? But them dunce. You know them pitney there? But the teacher treat them nice and make sure say, them a keep up somehow. And them worse, them all the poor pitney them where we would have considered dunce brighter than them Rich pitney that we may tell you about. I don't know how much I know is aware of or ever came across them type of dunce pitney there in a class where them parents have beer money and the teacher not deal with that dunce pitney there we have money like how the teacher would deal with the dunce but poor youth, Zin? So I don't know. But basically that is Christopher Tufton. Christopher Tufton is one of them rich dunce boy there. Cause when it reach him representing the health ministry, it's like him lost totally. Some nonsensical argument. Him can't really direct him argument seriously and focus. Him have to look one more time and him full of shadiness too. Just the same. So basically none of them named that we call can match up to Isaac Buchanan. Right? And Isaac Buchanan get charged, right, for marijuana in England. And him better at politics, at representing the people. I wouldn't even say politics. He's a better leader than all who are lead. Zin, watch this now. We have who we not mention? Orius Chang. Orius Chang, we know him a evil. Evil! Like what Tommy Lee say. You see me? Horse face, Shanghai. New name. You see me? We know him a evil. We not have to go into that. Damn. Him lie to. I talk about police not for wear body cam and all them things there. Can you believe that? The man really said police not for wear body cam. Such a wicked, him not care about. All I want to say is that him not really care about none of you. And me not want him care about me, because me not care about him. You see me I say? So, alright. So basically them they are the four main runner for the JLP. Nobody no more actively involved in the JLP politics like them. Zin? And if you want to call Floyd Green, him a agricultural thing there. And you remember with him, we reach him in a corona. Him not have no integrity because him watch film leader a charge people this one bag of money and a lock up people for party while Floyd Green a party and a drink in a corona with a bag of people and a bag of girl and it's just a pat on the back him get and promoted. Him get promoted. Andrew promote him personally. Right? And before him say, boy, Andrew, you know, say me go refuse the promotion and I believe I should be punished because that him should have do. Zin, that's what I would have done because people don't see me have flash, them don't see me get catch. So would I make sure tell Andrew publicly, would I make sure it reach public for say, oh, I'm not taking any promotion and I believe I should be punished and what I've done is wrong because people, what kind of message you send when you have your people in a party while you lock up the little man and the little girl them for party, the normal people them for party and I charge them millions and you have the millions where I break the rules, I get promoted. You know, so anybody vote and we support the JLP, evil and dunce, basically. Zin? Now look on the forerunner for the PMP them. Because sometimes, it take just 3 people to make a full team of 11 players be the victorious ones, Just like in basketball, it's the 2 dominant players them make a team supersede the other team them. And then you have some team where just one good player carry them right through. Right? Look, people believe say Messi are the one good player who carry Argentina, and may Messi dad soul rest in peace. Because Messi just lost his father recently, few days ago, and we see where Cristiano Ronaldo sent him a heartfelt message. It won't look like say Ronaldo, sort of sub with him one way and give him like a loser message, like him say, boy, the both of us lost the World Cup. It was almost like that. This is in my terms, right? It was almost like Cristiano Ronaldo would text or he would message Messi or, DM him saying that, it was almost like Cristiano Ronaldo saying, we both lost the World Cup and we're both losers and now you lost your dad. I can't just imagine how painful it is, But yeah, it's a very, commendable thing that Cristiano Ronaldo did nonetheless, But it's like I saw the sadness in Ronaldo for not winning the World Cup through that message. You know what I mean? But I may do a vlog to cover all that next, so y'all can see the post and the message that Ronaldo had sent Messi. You know what I mean? So when you check the four runners for the PMP, right? We have Isaac Buchanan, who always represent people. How could you not vote for that side or support that side when the JLP don't have no human right people I represent? And if they do have a human right minister like or that should be representing like Isaac Buchanan here, we don't see them. Nobody not see them JLP representative they were representing the human rights and the youth them like Isaac Buchanan. No. So don't tell me say JLP have one. Cause we not see them. Them not actively represent human rights in nothing. Cause them is a evil side, evil party, the JL people. Them evil. Alright, so now Isaac Buchanan, top forerunner for the PMP. As him land, him start work biliously. Right? Alright, we have Damian Crawford too, very active in the PMP. Them man they know maths and them man they always try to be fair as best as possible. I wouldn't even say him try. Him always is fair. Always. Anytime you see people that bash Damian Crawford, I call them dunce and them fool. Believe me, you notice how Damian Crawford stepped down. Damian Crawford actually did what Floyd Green had failed to do. As me tell you, say Floyd Green should I just tell Andrew, say, no, Andrew, I deserve to be punished because I was caught drinking and partying in Corona when it's our rules and our laws that we had, placed on people to follow. And we are disobey. So what kind of message we are sending? We see Damian Crawford walk away from some position, right, that he had because he thought that it's best to avoid certain things, you know what I mean? And I don't really remember the fullness, but I'm sure that is integrity. You know what I mean? Where life is not just about going higher. Because we see Damian, not Damian, when Desmond McKenzie, right? Him is the opposite from Damian Crawford. Like all of the JLP them is the opposite. Them run down power and, them lust for it, greedy, hunger and thirst for it. And then once they get it, it's just to protect them from getting away with their corruption, right? And then in the PMP again, you have Mark Golding. Who is better than Mark Golding at JLP? Mark Golding is like that great neighbor that you have that is successful. Him not have to do no work, but him work throughout the community. You know what I mean? And help people. You know them foreigners there where reside in some other country where them care and them so actively involved in the community, help people, and them not to do it because they're not your people. But even though we know that Bruce Golding, not Bruce Golding, but also big up to Bruce Golding, him had a good JLP leader. Him was the good JLP leader. Big up Bruce Golding. Them time the way I said JLP. Then now Mark Golding, him is that type of person who, even though we know Mark Golding is Jamaican, we accept him as Jamaican. You understand? Him grew up and birth at Jamaica. Okay? But we know say them not like hear that. And we know say them bad mind him for him white skin. You see me I say? The only the JLP supporter them talk against him white skin, but Andrew them, Dalvaz, the whole of them forerunner, the Arias Chang, them wish them did born white skin. Cause who love be racist against black man like Asian people, like the Arias Chang people. Them go on like them closest to white than anything. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, so I may assure you, all of them wish they had Mark Golding skin. You see me? So them could have get away with the privilege. But shout out to the black people, them like Isaac Buchanan, where no say, you see me? We're supposed to be very appreciated of being black. You know what I mean? And that's a fact. And that's that. So we're going to end it here, so, and bring more to you. Yeah. So it says, it start off saying that no notice, right? These are the words from Isaac Buchanan, right? That they seem to have written down here. All right. So Isaac Buchanan says that no notice, no mercy, Buchanan demands answer and action over Cooper's Pen demolition, right? Now it says Kingston, Jamaica, August the 12th, 2026, right? That is today. Today, that is Wednesday morning now, right? Isaac Buchanan, Member of Parliament for Eastern Portland and opposition spokesperson on youth and human rights, has condemned the demolition of 20 homes in Cooper's Pen, Trelawny, and is calling on the government to provide immediate relief for the families left homeless. Yes. Now, let me just say this before we continue to read on, right? Now, the reason why it's unfair, right? The reason why it's unfair because we know that the people have got notice donkey years ago. But if you aren't keeping up with the notice and the resident, then they will think that all thing has been forgotten. Because you see, the government, and I have to understand, the government use a lot of technique and craft where them use for set up people for fail. You understand? They know what them are do. You get what I say? Them set up people for fail. They don't want people securing themselves, you know, the necessary time and need and ways of how to best secure themselves and their properties and their, assets. You know what I mean? The government don't want you to do it the right way. Believe me. Just like, all right, for example, I'm sure a lot of y'all heard about the PPP loan, right? The 3P them PPP loans that America had given out to business. It was for business owners, especially those who had hired people to work for them, right? Now the PPP loan was mainly for business owners, and you know what I mean, people who had their business lose profit because of the corona lockdown pandemic time, right? So the system know that a lot of people who never had businesses, like a regular man like me, right? Or you, right? If you are. And they knew that people who are regular citizen who never had any business, they know that they would sign up for these PPP loan that were intended for people with businesses and had workers to pay, right? Now, they knew, and this is what the system do to set up people to get them in prison, okay? So they know that a lot of people is gonna lie. Because come on now, when the system have free money, saying, okay, this is free money, but only for those with a company and with employees and staff members to pay. They know that people who don't have companies going to sign up. Now, this is the trick what they do. Now, they give out the money to all these people who had lied on their application, people who signed up application to, receive this benefit. You know what I mean? And they lied about being eligible to receive the money. Okay. Now the system know that a lot of that was going to happen. The government knew. Okay. And they set them up to fail. They gave them the money. They gave them even our own Jamaican girl the other day that the FBI was seeking, and they just caught up with her. It's the same loan she took. Okay. The same loan she took and, had to run and came back to Jamaica where she was caught probably just a few weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? Or 2 weeks ago. Now, when the government, right, after everyone had gotten money and then the grant had stopped, that is when the system, the American government, went and launched an investigation to find out if all these people who had applied for the PPP loan, right, they ran an investigation to find out how many of these people lied, and they arrested them and give them long sentences depending on the amount of money they had gotten or received, because the bigger the company you had told them that you had is the more money. The more staff you told them you had to pay is the more money. Now look at the trick. They wait until they give these people all the money, and then they went and did their investigation after the grant period was up. And then they started to seek out these individuals, find them, and lock them up. Okay. Now, when the government have free money for a certain type of people that they want to ensure that it goes directly to those people, they make sure put in place things and ways for them to find out if anyone was lying or would be lying, right? So when the government have money to give away, right, to a certain group or type of people, they would ensure to make certain what is it? There would be a few protocol and certain things in place, that you wouldn't be able to lie to receive that money. Okay. But the fact that they never did that with the PPP loan, they give out the money to everyone who signed up and then ran their investigation after. This is how the system set you up to fail. How America set up everyone to fail for the corona payout, right? And this is exactly how they set up these people to fail. And most of all, Andrew, because the PMP is known for giving land to many people from Westmoreland, all about, right? The PMP is known for that, right? But once the JLP came in power, it's their responsibility to remind the people that how serious it is, the seriousness of the land being issued to the rightful owner. So they should have made sure that the people had gotten the memo, right? Not just one time and you don't go remind them or go check up on them and ensure that they are taking your word seriously. You know what I mean? So it's really a setup to fail. I hope you guys all understand and see the point that I've just made. You know what I mean? Because when the government wants you to not fail, they make sure put things in place for you not to fail or for you can't try any tricks. You know what I mean? So they do these things purposefully. You understand?
Release from the People's National Party Media Unit.
I am Isa Buchanan, Member of Parliament for Portland Eastern and the Opposition spokesperson on youth and human rights. I am deeply disturbed by the recent demolition of structures occupied by Jamaican families, first in St. Thomas and now in Cooper's Pen, Trelawny. These incidents, reportedly carried out during the dusk and dawn hours, have left families homeless while their personal belongings and life possessions destroyed in the process. What is particularly troubling to me is the reported role of the police during the Cooper's Pen operation. The reported detention of the men while women and children stood by helplessly as their homes and possessions were destroyed is deeply disturbing. The image and circumstances are painfully reminiscent of the powerlessness and separation experienced by enslaved people under slavery. Jamaica must never allow the exercise of lawful authority to reproduce circumstances in which vulnerable people feel stripped of their agency, dignity, and ability to protect their families and possessions. Let me be clear. I recognize and respect that bona fide owners of private property have legal rights over the use and enjoyment of their land. Those rights are protected by law and must be respected. However, the existence of private property rights does not absolve the government of Jamaica of its constitutional and fiduciary duty to protect the welfare, dignity, and fundamental rights of its people. When citizens are displaced in circumstances such as these, the questions extend beyond property ownership. It becomes a question of governance, human dignity, proportionality, and the responsibility of the state. What happens to families of Cooper's Pen tonight? What happened to the families displaced in St. Thomas? Where will these mothers, fathers, elderly persons, and children lay their heads tonight? Who is taking responsibility for the destruction of their personal belongings, many of which may represent the only assets they possess? The Charter of Fundamental Rights and Freedoms enshrined in the Constitution of Jamaica recognizes the dignity of every individual and establishes fundamental protections that must guide the exercise of state power. Lawful authority must be exercised with humanity, fairness, and proportionality. Images images of bulldozers reducing homes and personal possessions to rubble while families stand helplessly by are deeply unsettling. Regardless of the legal status of the occupation, every Jamaican deserves to be treated with dignity and humanity. A civilized society must never become indifferent to the suffering of its people. As a member of parliament for Portland Eastern and opposition spokesperson on youth and human rights, I am demanding immediate answers from the government. Where is a minister with responsibility for housing? Where is a member of parliament for the constituency in Trelawny where the incident occurred? What immediate emergency relief is being provided to the displaced families? What temporary housing arrangements have been made? What support will be offered to replace or compensate for personal belongings that have now been destroyed? What long-term plan exists to ensure that these citizens are not left abandoned and forgotten? I'm also calling for a clear account of the police operation in Cooper's Pen. If men were detained while their families watched their homes being demolished, the government must explain the circumstances, the legal basis for those actions, and whether the treatment of those residents was necessary and proportionate. The government cannot simply supervise demolitions and walk away. It has a continuing obligation to ensure that vulnerable citizens are not rendered destitute without meaningful intervention. The measure of a government is not only how it protects property rights, but also how it safeguards the dignity and welfare of its most vulnerable citizens. I therefore call upon the government to immediately provide the following: emergency housing assistance for every affected family, social intervention and welfare support, counseling services, particularly for children and vulnerable persons, assistance to replace essential belongings destroyed during the demolitions, and a comprehensive resettlement plan for families who have been displaced. I further call for transparency regarding the circumstances surrounding the demolitions and the conduct of the security forces involved. The time has come for the government to demonstrate genuine respect for the Constitution and the rights of the Jamaican people. The exercise of lawful authority must never come at the expense of human dignity. We cannot say that we are a free and democratic society while becoming indifferent to the suffering of citizens who have little power to defend themselves. The Constitution belongs to every Jamaican, and its protections are most meaningful when they extend to those with the least power. The power I speak of is to be exercised so that the people of Cooper's Pen, the people of St. Thomas, and every displaced Jamaican deserves answers, compassion, and action, not silence.
Visit our website at pnp.org.jm or check us out on Facebook at Jamaica PNP.
Now let us read the other paragraph here. Okay? Yeah. So it says the demolition took place in the early hours of Tuesday, August the 11th, 2026. That was yesterday, when a crew arrived shortly after 3 a.m. in the morning. Damn, they detained more than 20 men without explanation, and then under police watch, they tore down the homes using bulldozer and heavy machinery. Residents say they received no notice and had no opportunity to save their belongings before their homes. And in many cases, their life possessions were destroyed. Damn. You see the evilness? JLP. This takes us back to like some days when I used to attend high school and learning about some historical war, you know what I mean? That was so frightening, where you would hear, like, especially with the Hitler, right, where people had to lie and change their names, and the fathers were taken away, leaving the mothers and the little children, you know. And I remember learning about those history back in high school, and it was like such a shock to me, because I was like thinking about my mom, and you know, like being left with my mom, and my dad would be taken away, and you know, I would always place my life in things that I'm learning about what others had to go through. You know what I mean? I always try to put myself in their shoes, whether good or bad. You know what I mean? Yeah, I hope you do too. Yeah, so we're here at No Jamaica. Yeah, so it says that no Jamaican should wake to find their home reduced to rubble without warning, said Buchanan. Regardless of the legal status of the land, every citizen is entitled to be treated with dignity and humanity under our constitution. Buchanan noted that this follows a similar demolition Albion, St. Thomas, and questioned the continued absence of adequate protection for vulnerable citizens facing eviction. Okay? So yeah, so all over the country, they must say these type of injustice have been exercised by the authorities, you know what I mean? Yeah, so Jamaican are nice with politics and JLP, they make things worse. He is calling on the government to urgently provide emergency housing and welfare support for all affected family. And I know the people in Westmoreland, them not really get the for them housing, yes, you know. And see now is a different destruction this. You see me? So many destruction and some damages, them can't find the cure for, so them wrap them up in bandages. Check out the crisis, how them kill innocent and bandages, so Rastaman and burn them out to ashes like some bandages. They're on the heights and yarding with the pilgrimage and left the pagans, them in the city praising image. Always have life, but you won't always have death. Then man, and them always have. Yes. Yo, you see me? Clear conscious music. Time them here go culture. Is me I say, and that the artists them have to do. You can't just stay a dancehall. Sometimes you have to take up some culture rhythm and try master it. And them you tell them not do that. You see me? That's how we used to pray. That's why you give it any rhythm. You give it EDM rhythm. You give it all type of hip hop, all type. Give it a Chinese beat. Give it a polka and Gangnam style rhythm. And you see each song. You see me? We don't have no favorites when it comes to rhythm. Because you can give it all a boring rhythm and I hit the biggest song fine pan. So I say, yeah. So watch this now. It's the people that need counseling services right now, them stress out, particularly for children, judge you know. That worse to the youth them, but assistance to replace destroyed belongings and a clear amount of the police role in the operation and how it was allowed to proceed without notice. The measure of a government is how it treats its most vulnerable citizens, right? Yes, so that is what makes a government good when it's about when you see how him deal with people who needs help the most. You know what I mean? That is where the line is drawn for you to know if they're good government. You know what I mean? Yes, so a clear account of the policy's role in the operation and how it was allowed to proceed without notice. And the measure of a government is how it treats its most vulnerable citizens, not only how it protects property rights, Buchanan said. You hear that? Big argument that these families deserve answers, compassion, and action, not silence. But Andrew used to give the people them silence. When the police them trim off Nzinga here, him go silence. When we say body cam, him go silence. When the 23 police them shoot up the youth in him house and pop down him camera them, him go silence. Yo, may I tell you, anytime you see him open film mouth, because it's nothing too serious, but true people and make up nice same way, him want it look like say a true unuh make up nice make him talk. But unuh can't make Andrew talk if him no want talk, cause him a wicked. You see me? My wicked. So we are going at this now. You see? And remember say no. Remember say the police them push out the police them lock up the man, go for the man them 3 o'clock in the morning, carry them a prison, and I tell them what them a carry them there for. And then the police them I give them beer run round, but them a process them. The man them say when them reach a prison and long after, right? Cause they must get let out 12 o'clock in the day when the sun out at noon. Right? And at them time they late, them a find out so them house get demolished. Wicked act. That is a wicked act. That shows say you not care about the people them. You see what I say? Shows say you not care about the people them. I'm glad Isaac Buchanan talk on this. Listen. Go hear what you must say.